Good evening and a very warm welcome. You are in tune to me, Sister P, on Frontline Radio 106.3. Special dedication to the 2,000 residents of the Heathtown estate and millions more like us right across the nation. The rest of Wolverhampton has written us off as drug dealers, prostitutes and muggers. Well, we're going to prove them wrong, and this is how we're turning around our estate.
I've lived in this area for quite some time and I've seen it deteriorate, tear down. But as I say, it's got a bad name through bad publicity mainly from the local papers. And what we wanted to do, certain members on the estate, we wanted to bring it back up and get it back to being somewhere people are not frightened to live.
There are many, many good people that live on this estate, and just a small unruly element can actually create quite a bad impression to the rest of the town.
It's like when we go somewhere, the people know that we're from Heathtown and they think, oh, Heathtowners, they're going to cause trouble now. But like, sometimes we don't get a chance to let them see what we can do, like how good we can be.
People are starting to fight back now. They don't want the estate ruined. They're spending too much time and thought on it. They want to live in a nice area, and that's what Heathtown's becoming.
Yes, that's definitely what it's becoming, but that's not what it's been like in the past. Yes, listeners, tell the truth and shame the devil. We've had our full share of problems.
We built up Heathtown and expected it to just run smoothly, but it didn't run smoothly. When it was the weed era, like in the 80s and the 70s, it wasn't so bad. When the crap come in, took everything everybody's got. And people selling off their televisions, their videos, people robbing off their mothers, people robbing their kids' toys and selling them, and people do anything.
I have been mugged in reception down here. I opened the door to someone I thought lived here, and they promptly pushed me down, smashed my nose, which was broken, and took all my money from me, left me bleeding. So if that had been someone older, it could have finished them off.
If the estate worked as the estate was designed to work, the whole thing would work fine. But it doesn't work anymore. We're living in different times. The estate was designed for the end of the 60s, 70s. That's not the 90s.
They say this estate was a prize winner in 1969 when Princess Margaret came to open it. This is how they thought we were all going to live. Right now, Sister P taking you back in time.
Over 1,000 years ago, the name Wolfran-Hianton first appeared. In the town today, Georgian period and rows of late Victorian shops are now giving way to modern multi-storey, multi-purpose buildings. Another large redevelopment has now been completed in the Heathtown area.
As a newly married person, we were offered the top floor flat, which is the 22nd floor, number 2. At the time, in 1970, for my wife and myself, it was like living in a penthouse flat in the middle of New York. The view was absolutely marvellous. You could actually see way over to the Shropshire Hills. And we looked upon the whole estate as being a sort of a self-contained village.
This site, which is divided by a main road, was linked at upper level by a pedestrian bridge. And at this same upper level, the principal pedestrian routes have been maintained. So, as in other redeveloped areas, safe access to blocks of dwellings, the shopping centre, community centre and the school was provided by segregating vehicular and pedestrian traffic.
At the time the estate was built, My first impression was that it was very much reminiscent of the H.G. Wells film, The Shape of Things to Come. And locally, the estate had gained the name of Space City. However, today, in the 1990s, this type of architecture with so much concrete is considered very, very intimidating, and people indeed wouldn't want to live here.
Why is it that you need to move out of Heathtown then? What exactly is concrete irritus anyway?
It's an allergy to concrete.
Well, you look fine to me.
It isn't me. It's the baby.
You're tuned to 106.3 Frontline FM. Special mention going out to sisters Donna and Marlene and their children, Tyrone and Sherelle. Remember the old days, girls?
Everything used to be convenient for us because they used to have like all the shops on the centre for everything we need really. And now we have to go to town now. From here to about that project shop there used to be a spa where it used to sell loads of things in there, everything in there really convenient. But now it's shut down. And there used to be a shop here where you could get your rice and groceries from. And here used to be a cake shop where you get your Christian chocolate. It used to be all to our convenience.
Yeah,
now
we should go back to the old days.
Yeah, it's like memories of like gone now because they've all gone.
Gone are the times when it was sufficient just to build houses. Today, a vast range of auxiliary services must be planned and built to meet the needs and activities of a modern community.
A big lick shot to the Youth Club posse. What do you think of our modern community?
Some people feel scared to come into Heathtown. Like my friends from Wensfield, I bring them down here and they don't even want to come down here, like. It's just like when I brought my friend up here and he goes, where do you live? Show me where you live. And then when we was walking, he was like walking like...
And looking around,
as if like...
checking behind
as if someone was just going to shoot him from behind or something. And then on his way back, he just burnt it. And he was white.
Because white people...
I think white people who don't live in Heathtown are scared to come in Heathtown because there's black people living there.
Yeah. And like some white people think, oh, I ain't meant to be living in Heathtown, this ain't my place. It's all black, I've got to move somewhere else. Like.
But it's no bed of roses for us either. Almost everyone feels scared in Heathtown. 8 years ago, the council gave us a concierge service to make the estate safer. There should be someone on the door of every tower block. But since the cuts, there aren't enough concierges to go around.
I'm hoping and praying that we will have more security in here, because that's my main concern. The 6 years I've been here, I think it's really deteriorated. You know,
it has, since they've taken off the concierge. They're not situated in here now, although all this was built for them. They're over the road, away from us all. And we've had more vandalism since they've been away. We've had the front door glass broken. We've had the youngsters getting, well, I assume they're youngsters, climbing in through the windows and upsetting the laundrette. Certainly we need a concierge here, not half a mile across the road.
What's happened on this estate is, because it was the first one to have concierge offices, the multi-storey blocks, i.e. that one there, as every other one, had a concierge office built onto it. And of course, with an office built onto a block, you must have a concierge officer in that block. Unfortunately, you haven't got enough officers to fill the blocks, fill the offices in the blocks, and that's a major problem.
Tell me about it. Haven't you heard what happened to Pearl?
Came in here and there's no concierge like today. Walk through. Open Mrs. Kelly was by that there lift. She just got on the lift. There's a man standing there, tall man. I pressed my number and Margaret walked through and she pressed her lift there, and as I got in my lift, she was still standing there. There was a man coming. I pressed my number, 17, and I asked him what number he was. He was standing behind me, and I pressed the 11th floor for him.
You need 35 officers on this estate to do a 24-hour service in every block. Of course, you're never going to get that. But now we're down to 16. It's a bit of a push at times to make sure the blocks are covered.
He never spoke at all, not a word, just the 11th floor. And he bent down when he got to the 11th floor. He bent down, and as he went out, he grabbed my bag and pulled me out with him. He went through this door here, and I've still got my bag until we got through this door here, and the handle broke, and as he pulled me down these stairs here. We went down here, and I fell down here. I was on the floor. When I got down to this bottom pair there, my bag was on the floor. He threw the bag down, and when I looked in, my purse had gone. And I ran down the steps after him, but I got to the 4th floor. I couldn't get no farther.
The council seems to be giving up on concierge. Now they're talking about security cameras. But we need to make our voices heard. Maximum respect going out to Randolph.
They wanted it to be linked throughout the whole borough. Yes. Where maybe the head players would be up the Civic or somewhere. We said no. We'll have the cameras, but they'll be operated from down here. Yeah, that's true. They'll be manned down here by the concierge here. And we will not lose any of the concierge we have at the moment. That's our stand we take, and we will not budge on that one.
What do you want to do tonight, then?
I don't know. What do you want to do?
You could take me out for dinner.
Where?
How about Tom's Chippy?
There's something special about Tom's Fish and Chips.
I think they're really nice and greasy and they're always hot. The potatoes are just soft and tender. I can't leave the shop without buying a bag. I just love them.
Tom's Fish and Chips, the best place to eat in Heath Town. Well, the only place to eat in Heath Town, actually.
They're delicious.
Sister P on 106.3. This is what's left of the 60s dream. Yes, listeners, the estate went downhill fast. Shops closed down, flats went empty. Something had to be done, and it's already started.
Those 2 blocks are coming down completely. They're going to be taken right down to the ground, and this ground then be used as a playing field or something of that sort of thing. The block running along the back is going to be what we call topped and locked, which is the new houses that we've built. They were masonettes, and that we've brought them down to house level, and it's made them look a lot better.
They started topping and lopping in '92, turning masonettes back into houses just like we had in the first place. Crazy. Crazier still, the government's £10 million could only be spent on conversions, even though building new houses would have been a lot cheaper.
What they've done out of the back, they should do all over Heath Town. And if that happened, it would give people different views of Heath Town. Because it'll make them think, oh, this is a nice estate. We might want to live there. Because that's the rubbishiest
All
block
this
of the
front
lot.
is rubbish. All over the back is nice where they've built all the new houses.
And it's not just the buildings, listeners. One good thing about Wolverhampton Council is that they're into tenants taking control. They're even helping us to set up an estate management board so that we can run the estate.
Rather than someone just sitting in the civic centre and saying, well, this, that, or whatever, the tenants on the ground with the hands-on situation can actually take charge of their own lives.
First of all, what is the Estate Management Board? Okay, EMB stands for Estate Management Board. The EMB has a contract with the council. The council staff are responsible to the EMB. The council provides a budget to the EMB to run the estate. Okay?
Is it the council that decide what jobs the EMB take
No.
on, or is the other way around?
It's the EMB that decides. It's a negotiated agreement, but as an EMB, you have the legal right to take powers, even if the council chooses not to give you those powers.
First, we have to vote in a committee of tenants to negotiate our contract with the council. We have to decide just what responsibilities we want to take on. Pat is standing for election. Go for it, girl.
I have lived on the estate for just over 6 years. I am married with 4 children. I have been involved in a number of things such as Christmas parties, Christmas fairs and school trips. At the moment I am at college studying nursing and I am one of the officers for the credit union. I want to get involved with the AMB because, like most people on Heath Town, it is important to me.
Is there any drinks in here?
Some pop in the food. Although I'm involved in a lot of things, I thought the AMB is a way to really get things happening and I wanted to be involved in that. So, because Heath Town's important to me.
This election is crucial. The council have given us a deadline of next April for setting up our management board. Randolph is a candidate and he's flying the flag high.
You will have the final say, the tenants. Not one of the committee, the tenants. For instance, just for argument, I was elected and the tenants feel I wasn't doing what they wanted me to do. They have the power to say, out you go.
I know he's on our side. He spoke up well for us. So I'm glad he's well, we don't know who's chosen for the committee,
Exactly.
but we have great faith in him.
I got involved, and if I'm not even chosen, I'll still work for the people in here outside the committee.
I'm sure some of the
I'm a hard bloke. I'm a very hard bloke to crack when I take my stand.
The walkways and that were probably a good thing when they were built, but they don't seem so good now. The way they built them, you can virtually go around the whole estate without touching ground level. It was very awkward for the police because they could only get round at ground level with a motor, and if they were trying to find anybody, if they were following anybody, it was very hard because people living on the estate knew all the shortcuts, the corners where they could hide, and the police quite easily lose them. This part of the bridge is the worst part of the lot on the estate, really. Anything from a 35 underweight Luton van, which is not particularly big, comes to here, they think, oh, it's a bridge, there's a road, we can go under. When they get to it, they don't realise it till they hear the back of the wagon crunch. The only solution, I think, is to knock it down, which we're going to do very, very shortly now.
So it's time to say goodbye to the walkways. Whoever thought of putting streets in the sky anyway?
Tonight, we're focusing on 2 architects who are shaping the housing of the futuristic 70s, Justin Time and Dylan Doe. Justin, what exactly gave you the inspiration for the Heath Town estate?
Well, the trouble with this old stuff is, it's just too flat, man.
I'm sorry, I don't quite follow your line of thinking there.
Well, we were like tripping on the houses.
Actually, it was the carpet you tripped on, man.
Yeah, man. I tripped on the carpet, fell into the model and like flipped up the houses.
Yeah. Landed like that. Really cool.
And we thought like, wow.
It's just the whole concept, guy. Housing gets high.
Streets in the sky.
Yeah, but you couldn't have the streets vertical, because the cars will fall off.
Yeah, we tried that, didn't we, man?
And, you know, the houses all out of the way like this, it's just totally spaced out, man.
Yeah, and what exactly are your plans for these areas here, between the houses, where the gardens used to be?
Like, grass.
Yeah, you can't have too much grass, man.
Nah, man.
There is a real mood of optimism. The buildings are changing, the management is changing, but will people change?
To see any improvements around here, you have to wait at least another 16 years, because you'd have to start from the kids. Because it doesn't make sense starting telling a 10-year-old nothing, telling an 11-year-old nothing, because he's not going to listen to none of what you say, you know what I mean? But if you start from when they're 3, 4, that's the best time to start with them, not when they're getting big and you ain't telling them nothing.
You look at some people in Heath Town and just for looking at them, they have a go at you. Let's suppose you was just walking through Heath Town and then you saw some people on the corner and you thought, oh, I don't want to get down there. But you look at them like, and suppose you don't want to look them bang in the eye, you'll just like look at them slightly like that. And then if they spot you, they'll say, what was you looking at me like that for? What was you looking at me like that for? And then they might come over and then they might threaten you and say, don't do that again because next time you'll know. Or they'll say something different.
All the kids around here, they're gun fanatic now. They all want a gun. Make them be a bigger man. I've seen somebody blood up on that floor there, and the people just walk past him, and he's been a pool of blood, and nobody don't care. Nobody's not frightened or nothing. That's how hard-faced people get round here, you know what I mean?
You know they'll do it, but
you know the people who are
just
going to
don't
be
know
carrying
them.
weapons, you can like tell. Just act normal and just walk past them.
Yeah. Now it's getting worse, like I say. The violence and all that.
I think it's getting better.
No, it's just the estate that's getting better.
Yeah, but if the estate's better, it's going to make the reputation better.
No, but it's not the estate, though, it's the people, eh?
Yes, but we're talking about the reputation, and if the estate's going to be nicer and better, people are going to look after it better, and then it's going to get a better reputation.
No, but the people aren't the estate, though. The people aren't the estate.
People are the estate.
The estate is something you live in.
No, people make the estate what it is.
It's not the older kids that make the estate, you know.
What about the younger ones?
Well, that's all for tonight. We're back on air next Sunday at 7 for the rest of our story of Fighting Back. And every night this week after Channel 4 News, people from Heath Town tell you what they're doing to make things better. Tune in and check us out.
One of the ways in which people in Heath Town have been getting together is to establish a credit union.
She even told them over the phone, look, I don't want my daughter moving to Heath Town. It's a bad place.
Wouldn't it be beautiful if all the estate was like this?
I wanted to go in to paint myself this playground.
For a free booklet on how to turn around your estate, send a self-addressed envelope with 2 first-class stamps to Fighting Back, PO Box 4000, London W5 2GH.